If he's healthy enough, he should play. I mean, he's a national treasure. They have a chance to beat any team with him in the lineup. I haven't seen a team in pro football that is more different, split personality, than the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers and without Aaron Rodgers. And there's no one in the NFL, I don't care how good your team is, Philadelphia would hate to see Aaron Rodgers make it to the playoffs. What do you think happened to, just like Dallas last year? Who they run into? They didn't run into some great franchise. They ran into the best player in the NFL. And if the best player is healthy, yes, as a fan, I want to see Aaron Rodgers out there. And I know that he can't do any long-term damage with a broken collarbone. They already put a screw in it, all right? If he fractures it again, they'll just put another screw in it. All right, so his throwing motion's not going to be changed, and you could see the velocity for which he's throwing the football. Like, he's really well along in this rehab process.
You mean in the practice video you saw that?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. And he was throwing the ball 40 yards.
Yeah.
Like, so, yes, you can't throw it. I broke my left collarbone. I played 4 weeks later. Now, the problem's not going to be throwing the football. The problem is
getting hit, right?
If someone lands on him.
Yeah.
So, listen, yes, I agree with you. If in 2 weeks when he's eligible to come back, the Packers are still in the playoff hunt, then sure. Because the Packers going on the road doesn't matter. When they won their Super Bowl, they went on the road. They're dangerous because they have the best player in football. But they're not going to be in it. So, like, to me, this is going to be a moot point. They're 5-6.
They play Tampa Bay this week.
That's great.
In the cold.
That's great. Tampa Bay is better than them. And guess what? When they go to Cleveland, Cleveland's as good as them. When this team doesn't have Aaron Rodgers.
Just watch the cold, though. Just watch Tampa Bay going to Green Bay.
Okay, and Tampa Bay's been awful this year. I understand that. You're totally right about
it. And if they put Jameis in there, oh, man.
I get it. But the point that I'm making is the Green Bay Packers, without Aaron Rodgers, they are the Tampa Bay Bucks. They are the Cleveland Browns.
Not last week they weren't.
Because last week their quarterback somehow played like Aaron Rodgers. Hundley was extraordinary last week. When there's 7 teams in the conference that have 7 wins and only 6 make it, and you are one of the handful of teams with 5 wins. There's 4 teams tied with the Packers at 5-6. By the time he's eligible to come back, I wouldn't play him. They're not going to be in the playoffs. And if they're, I just want to ask you this before we move on. If when he can come back, they are mathematically eliminated, would you still play him?
I would play.
Why?
Because as a player, I would play. Because I'm healthy. Or my contract says when I'm healthy, I'm going to play. I've signed a contract for all the games. Not when, just my buddies are going to play. They're going to jeopardize their career out there playing with someone else. But no, I'm above that. I'm a healthy scratch, and I'm Aaron Rodgers. That's not great leadership, and I believe it would affect the players. All right? Yes, we want every player out there, even if we're eliminated. Well, we're eliminated. I'm out there. What makes you more important than me? Well, it's called the team.
But he is more important than everyone on that
team. Do you think he says that to his teammates, though? Yeah, that's the way a locker room is, Nick, all right? These are the kind of bonds that players have together. Aaron Rodgers, the reason why he's warming up the players, he's trying to show them some type of inspiration. Hey, guys, come on, let's try to win one game. Get me back in there. Give us a chance. And that's why he's Aaron Rodgers, and that's why he's the best player.
Cece, we've more than talked about how Dak Prescott has been struggling, especially without Zeke and a couple other notable players in this lineup. But are you surprised that you take the other pieces out and he's struggled as poorly as he has in the last 3 games?
No, this is a system league, and the system is put in place to give the players a roadmap to how to be successful at doing their job. But in that system, there's always good players. And we're subject to the system and the type of players that the organization or the system staff puts around us. So, no, I'm not surprised. I thought Zeke was the best Cowboy. Last year, I thought he was the best Cowboy. That's what I told everyone. He was the best Cowboy. But everyone wanted to say that it was Dak. Okay, so now, unfortunately, we're able to see the Cowboys with Tyron Smith in there, with all the other offensive players except Zeke, and now you know who the best Cowboy is, all right? Because his ability to affect the offensive line, his ability to be able to control the game, his ability to be able to dominate in the red zone, he's a scoring machine. He also helps keep that defense off the field. So, no, I'm not surprised he was going to struggle, but it forces the quarterbacks to do more, and this is where young quarterbacks, they fail. The guy's played a season and a half. So for us to think that he had already arrived and have everything figured out, now is the reality. All right, this is a system league, and the system is about players plugged into the system to be able to help the system and the players in the system function at a high level.
I know you were surprised.
I'm shocked.
Newsflash.
CC, I knew the Cowboys wouldn't be as good without Zeke. I believed Zeke was their best player as well. I did not think he was their most important player. And I'm shocked in today's NFL, a running back can be your most important player unless you're a team like Jacksonville that has no quarterback.
Well, when you have your number one assets are 3 of your offensive line are all pro. Now, the thing that I didn't like what Dak said in the interview, he said, man, I got all these all-pro players around me. No, they're not playing that way.
Right.
I mean, maybe the center. The center might be the only Pro Bowl player that's playing to a Pro Bowl level this year. None of the other offensive linemen, and forget about their tight ends and wide receivers. Like, no, absolutely not.
All right, but so this is what is, to me, so disappointing, and I am not ashamed to say it, shocking to me. Something I did not see coming at all. I know that, guys, you have impressed upon me about the importance of systems. I get it. But typically, if you're a really good quarterback, you are the key to that system. I am not saying
that's what you think, but that's not. I don't believe that.
Well, hold on a second. Let me just give you some examples, okay? And tell me where I'm missing it. I'm not talking about Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady good. Let's go a tier or 2 below. Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers has dealt with different head coaches, different offensive coordinators, different wide receivers. The only consistent piece has really been Antonio Gates, different running backs. And Phillip Rivers, while the team's success might vary, his consistency is pretty right there.
Dak will never be able to throw the ball like Phillip Rivers. Well, he has an unorthodox throwing motion, but he's one of the best throwers that we've seen in the NFL.
So that's the part to me that is shocking. That Dak can't be. Let's take another.
Phillip Rivers has carried a franchise. Forget carried a team during the game. He has carried a franchise.
I get it. And that's the type of player, even if it's not the same style. I get that Phillip Rivers plays a different style of football. But that's the caliber of player.
We hadn't seen enough of Dak to think that he could carry a team. And you did not see what he did at Mississippi State to think that that could transfer over. Because it wasn't like he had a team that dominated the SEC. So you were just guessing.
Well, with young guys, we're always projecting. Like, we're always, I mean, we hadn't seen it in the NFL from Deshaun Watson until we saw it.
But we saw him dominate in college. We saw him dominate a pro team in Alabama twice.
So take Russell Wilson then. Because
Russell Wilson dominated NC State and at Wisconsin.
Russell Wilson was a guy at
Wisconsin elected him team captain the first day he stepped on campus.
No doubt. I'm talking about once they got to the pros. Like when his first year in Seattle for Russell Wilson.
Dak won't be able to throw the ball as good as Russell Wilson.
So that's the part that I missed. No, I'm owning it. That's the part that right now it looks like I totally whiffed on. Because Russell Wilson was another guy. It's like, maybe it's the system. It's the great defense. It's Marshawn Lynch. And then we found out that Russell Wilson was an elite player.
And Dak is not the athlete that Russell is.
So if all these things are true, hold up, though. Let's just level set for a moment. So he can't throw the way these elite guys can throw. He's not the athlete of some of these other guys.
Well, if you pinpoint, if you go one by one, yes, based on the people you've lined him up against, no, he's not better. No, he's not a better thrower than Phillip Rivers. Never will be. All right, he won't be as accurate. He won't have the arm strength and timing that Phillip has throwing the ball down, and he won't be a better athlete than Russell Wilson. It's not like I'm saying discouraging things about it. That's just the truth.
Right, but if that's the truth, then at least me, and I think a lot of people, maybe you were on it the whole time, but a lot of people that watch the Cowboys, watch the NFL, have to totally recalibrate where Dak Prescott is in our overall quarterback hierarchy.
Well, start it.
Okay.
I think this is why
we're having... Walk all them comments back.
But this is why we're having all these conversations now about Carson Wentz, because the system is in place the way it was for Dak last year. But okay. 15 times during that press conference, I think people looked around and said, wait, what are we doing?
What people need to know is we didn't have time to play it. Immediately preceding that was a 60-second bit on Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
He just reenacted Groundhog Day. The question was about, you guys keep having these late leads that you blow. I mean,
But wait, let's go even further back, because in addition to bringing up Groundhog Day, he also brought up a song from Sonny and Cher, which was part of Groundhog Day. I saw Groundhog
that's
Day
what was playing on the
over
radio.
and over and over.
This
and over
is the same thing when we started asking about Andrew Luck's shoulder. All right, he started going about the storms coming from the coast of Africa. Then they come in and blow up. Then he starts to practice. Then he's not going to play. And then he is going to play again. He's going to be back practicing. And then, you know something? He's done for the year. You know, Coach Pagano, he needs to be put a grade on it.
when he gets fired, do you think he's going to go into meteorology? He's got a few weeks left.
It's hard to believe a team that I saw last night in the Ravens. I mean, this is not a good football team. I mean, they're really not. And Joe Flacco, I don't know how he avoids it. Maybe just the organization around Baltimore, because people have a lot of respect for him. But we seem to avoid even talking about how bad he's been.
What
trash. I'm not going to grab any of Nick's numbers, but if I think they're the numbers that I looked at, Nick, how well is Joe Flacco doing this year?
Man, Flacco's terrible. The only thing that's salvaging Flacco is, you know what's salvaging Flacco? Guys like Tom Savage being out there, C.J. Beathard being out there, the Nate Peterman and Brett Hundley experiments. Flacco's been awful this year. Well, yesterday, he threw the ball 32 times for 140 yards. That's less than 4.5 yards per attempt. Now, we're not going to talk about that because touchdown Tommy Savage has been sacked 15 times this year, and on 7 of those sacks has fumbled the ball away. He leads the NFL in lost fumbles, the Texans quarterback does, despite only playing half the games.
What was the thing that Joe Flacco was known for?
The deep shot.
Yeah.
Listen, he's
Now,
going
if you take that away from him, what do you have?
I mean, it's long past. Yesterday was 24. The Ravens defense and Terrell Suggs, who is still a monster in this league, has been better than I thought it would be. But I mean, it was just a disastrous quarterbacking game yesterday. The Texans are now finished. And by the way, everyone's going to feel badly for Bill O'Brien. He had Deshaun Watson, and I almost feel badly for him. But then I remember that Bill O'Brien watched all these super important minicamp, OTAs, training camp, preseason. Had Deshaun Watson, Tom Savage. Is like, touchdown Tommy Savage is my guy. Okay, well, eat that.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.